do a quick Beretta update here. I got this front lip looking really good. I changed up the accessory drive a little bit. And I've got a crazy little project here that is looking sweet. Oh, and I almost forgot. I changed up my strut mounts. You can see this is a spherical bearing now instead of the polyurethane stuff. And I guess you can't see much there. Those are Viking double adjustables. Alright, this thing spit the belt out on me the other day. When this belt is not something you want to chew up because, you know, the way some dumbass routed all the belt, it goes around the radiator hose, which means to change the belt, you gotta undo the radiator hose. Not fun. But the best I can tell, it's happened once before, like 2 years ago, so it's not like a huge problem. But I'm thinking, I've played around with the alignment of this pulley a little bit to try and get it where it's the happiest. And I'm thinking what happened is it just slid off the end here because everything was fine. So I sort of dug around a little bit and I found a Dorman pulley that has a lip on both ends. I think this will work. $419, $5,000. All right, piece of cake. That's a super easy deal. Put your 15mm on the tensioner, push it this way, change it up. This is my weird bracket deal where I made the truck accessories work with a car by switching that alternator from up here to over here. I don't think there's going to be any issues at all now, though. That looks really good. Okay, looking really good. That gives me some peace of mind here. I'm happy with that. And I added my own little belt diagram because the 3.1 belt diagram ain't doing me any good with this LS. And I had to go back and look at an old picture to see how I routed the belt because I couldn't remember. So this way I've got it with me and I have my belt part number too. I was worried if it shredded this belt, I wouldn't be able to remember what the hell the part number was. Alright, I guess I should get a video of this lip project. I'm already like halfway through it. Okay, this lip was sagging. Probably didn't help that I hit that concrete barrier at Cletus. So I ended up welding this piece in here. This helps hold everything up. This is for the hood latch itself. And then this is a 1/4 inch extension that I welded in there to sort of triangulate everything. And that's pretty damn solid now. Like, shit ain't, look, I just wiggled that and it's wiggling the whole car instead of flexing that lip. So I think we should be in pretty good shape there. I also made this cardboard template for like a, not really an air dam, but like a belly pan, I guess you would call it. I did the same thing with my other car. And now this is 2 pieces of 1/8 inch plastic that have adhesive squished together, so it's 1/4 inch ABS. This thing is so low, it's getting the grass. It's a lawnmower. So after that bracket, I was able to get this lip looking nice and flat. And I also added these LEDs underglow, which are a lot better than the ones that I had before. The stuff I had before were these little pods and they made it uneven light. I'll show a picture of that. These are pretty cool and they look really cool underneath. Kid friggin' loves them. You can set them up for whatever color you want, color change, anything you want to do. One of the guys at Beretta Fest had these underglows too, but you could see them from outside the car underneath. Whereas mine, since I raised this whole floor up 3 inches, everything's hidden and it looks perfect. So each one of these little sticks, basically, they're flexible, but they had an adhesive backing on them. I don't love counting on adhesive. I like mechanical fasteners better. So I made these little plastic plates that I stuck them to with the adhesive, but then I also zip tied through them and then screwed them in. And that way I have a nice mechanical fastener for this the whole way. It also allowed me to like bridge some of the weird shape gaps that I have here because, you know, this is where a fuel tank used to be, so the floor looks funny. And then in the back here, this is out in the air because the frame only comes to here and my hitch itself. So this is just wiggling around, but I got some plastic, keep everything solid. Works pretty good. So you can see these lips fit pretty good. They come all the way to the edge of the bumper and all the way to the edge of the bumper. The length is like perfect. Shape is pretty good. Fits nice. These are actually from a Mach 1 Mustang, like a 2000-ish. And you got to do some relief cuts in order to get it to bend kind of exactly where you want it to bend to fit the Beretta. But it's amazing how good a Mustang lip fits. Yeah, here we go again. I did this project where I switched the Beretta over to Camaro struts. These have been great. These KYBs were better than the Beretta stuff. I made these new mounts, and these mounts are already squeaking like crazy, and the poly is kind of screwed. So I'm switching things up. I got these double adjustable Camaro struts from Viking, and I'm changing up what I'm going to do for the strut mount itself. So these pivot balls should have zero slop, because what was happening, you can see this washer is deformed. These upper strut mounts basically function as the upper control arm, so there's a lot of stress on them, and it's already tearing up this poly bushing in here and making everything squeak and shit. See, this stuff is all deformed here. I tried lubrication, as you can see, and that was not the fix. All right, we got some poor planning on my part here. This is the collar I was going to weld in, then it's got that little set screw to hold this thing in place. I knew I might have to drill like a hole in the side here in order to tighten up this set screw. However, that ain't going in there. Not a chance. This will drop in there, but I've really got no good way to fasten it. All right, here we are the next day. I got same day service from my buddies at Empire. So they lasered this stuff that I wanted. I basically just took the file that I had for this one here, put a new spec in for the hole, and then changed the diameters of the retainer for the top of the poly bushing to a little cap that's going to go on here. So basically, that's going to drop in there. I made these little spacers just so everything is all flush, and then weld that baby on there. And that's going to be the new strut mount, which is going to be solid. Hopefully it's not going to be real clunky and stuff. But the idea is it's not going to wear out like that polyurethane stuff did. All right, I got to take these Torrington bearings home, clean them up. But here is basically the difference in the strut mounts now. So on the bottom side, same idea, just sits on the perch. Top side here, I had this rubber isolator, and then I had the poly bushing in there. The poly bushing is what deformed like crazy and started giving me all those squeaks and everything because the strut housing itself didn't match up exactly, especially after I changed the caster with the way the strut sat itself. Now all the misalignment on this whole assembly goes through the spherical bearing. Okay, here we are, all assembled. Nice smooth rotation. The limiting factor is that retainer ring that I've got on there. I don't think that will be a problem though. I think that's enough. When we find out. Okay, not totally unforeseen here, but the coilover shocks for a Camaro that I have in a Beretta with Dodge Ram and Camaro hybrid end links here doesn't fit exactly the same. You see how the original strut has a lot more clearance because this has this pinch clamp here. I did change out the bolts to a button head here to add me some more room. That gains me a little bit of clearance by comparison, but I still had to modify these hybrid sway bar end links. It came all the way down here, so I cut that off. That gave me more room here with this offset. as you can see, and we got a little bit of daylight. It is just barely touching right here. That's basically at full lock right now. So I got lots of room here with the steering wheel straight, but it is a little tight when I'm at full lock. I'm gonna roll with it for now, see how it goes. I'll revisit it later if I have to. But if you're running Camaro struts on a Beretta with a Blazer sway bar and Dodge Ram end links, stuff doesn't always fit. So this is what I get after 5 minutes driving in the rain. So this definitely needs a defroster. So here's another one of the things I'm working on. This is one of those universal HVAC evaporators from Amazon. It's not exactly built how I expected. The picture showed red coming out of 2 vents, blue coming out of 2 vents, and I thought, hey, perfect. I'll run the blue cold vents to the dash, the 2 red vents to the defroster on the windshield, and I'll be all set. But that's not the way it's built, because the coolant goes all the way through, and so does the AC evaporator. So there's no such thing as red vents and blue vents. So what I ended up doing is I made this slider, and I've got a slot at the bottom here, but the idea being, when I run that little slot through there, I can run this to block 2 vents at a time. So this could, I can run 2 to the dash, 2 to the defroster, and that way I can run 1 to the dash, 1 to the defroster, or vice versa. And I'll just have to figure out how I'm going to actuate this thing back and forth. The wiring on this unit is fairly simple, which is one of the things that I liked. You got your 12 volt here. You're going to put that to a switched power. You've got a ground here. These are both set up to go to the same spot. You just run your own ground wire to it. And then this one goes to the compressor itself. Turn the compressor on. And then you have a temp switch, which controls how often the compressor is coming on and off. And then you have fan speed here, which is where you turn it all the way off. I just tested this before with a 12 volt power supply. So you've got off and then 3 different fan speeds. Getting the defroster set up will be the easy part. That's just running coolant to it and running the fan. The AC is going to be another deal, because in my case, there's a transmission where the HVAC used to be. That's why I got to do this universal thing. It's going to be LS truck compressor, Beretta condenser, and then this evaporator deal. And I've got to wire that all up, make sure the fittings all work. There's going to be a fair amount there to make that happen. But I got caught in a rainstorm at Beretta Fest with 4 people in the car. So there's usually only 1 or 2. And it fogged over like crazy fast. So I definitely need to do at least the defroster. And I can deal with the AC stuff later if need be. By the way, I have a Beretta Fest video coming. I've got to put all that stuff together. I got a brand new phone just before I went. And then I lost it because I'm pretty sure I left it on the trailer. And I got run over on 81 North. So I'm missing some of that stuff, but my wife's got pictures and I got some other stuff too. I'll get that video together soon. Oh, Lordy, that looks good. The vise at the mill, then this is... Yikes.